Hello everyone, so today I'll be doing a short review from the gaming mouse I just received as a gift, which is the Gaming Freak FX-6. It's a budget gaming mouse you can find in Shopee for around 59 ringgit, and I'm going to make a short review about it today. So at first, this is the front cover for the box, and now we flip over to the back. So this is the back cover. It shows the details about the FX-6 gaming mouse. So let's now open the box. So as we open the box, we can see from the words there, it shows that there's RGB effect up to 7000 dpi, and you can actually switch your dpi inside the software, and there's actually programmable buttons. So now let's remove the mouse from the box and let's just see how it looks like.
Morninglightmusic.io 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 Morninglightmusic.io.
This is how the Gaming Freak mouse looks like in hand. It's actually quite decently sized in my opinion, and let's just jump into the detailed review.
Morninglightmusic.io.
Okay, so as we look in depth, there's actually two side buttons here which is programmable, and the basic left and right click with a center mouse button, and the Gaming Freak logo which is located on like the middle of the mouse. So it looks actually pretty neat, and there's a back, so it shows the brand Gaming Freak and the model name FX-6. So now let's plug it in and let's see if it actually looks nice with RGB on.
Morninglightmusic.io.
Alright, so now in comparison of this mouse, we'll compare it with a second mouse here, which is the Deathadder Essential. So as you can see from the mouse compared from both, you can see that the Deathadder is actually slightly larger than the Gaming Freak FX-6, and as I can touch from the quality, I can feel that the Deathadder is actually much better than the FX-6, because the FX-6 feels like it's made of cheap plastic, like pretty cheap plastic, and it feels not as comfy as the Deathadder.
Morninglightmusic.io.
So now, as we can see, I actually took out my Strix Impact and compare it, and as we can see that the FX-6 is actually slightly larger than the Strix Impact, but as per usual, the Strix Impact actually has like a better quality compared to the FX-6. And I noticed that the FX-6 has like pretty bad mouse gates, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if that's called mouse gates or not, but it has pretty bad mouse gates. The condition of it doesn't really feel that good, and it's not that nice when it's gliding. You can see that I'm touching it, it doesn't really feel that nice. So here is a short video of the FX-6 software that you can actually customize it. So if you want to download the software, you can just go to Google, search the Gaming FX-6, Gaming Freak FX-6 drivers, and just go to the designated website and download the software. And it's pretty easy to navigate it.
Morninglightmusic.io. 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 morninglightmusic.io.
So this is how the software looks like. As we can see that you can actually customize quite a lot of stuff from inside. From the mouse buttons, as you can see, you can customize all types of mouse buttons. Then you can also customize the color, the DPI, the switches, and there's many more. It's actually pretty decent for a budget mice, and it actually has a lot to offer in my opinion. Pretty solid software, I can say.
morninglightmusic.io. 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 morninglightmusic.io.
So for our first test, Valorant. As for Valorant, it's actually pretty sturdy. I would say it's a decent mouse, but the only thing that actually affects me is there's actually two things. First is actually the delay. I can actually feel a slight delay when I'm moving the mouse around compared to my Strix Impact, my Viper Mini, or my Deathadder. Maybe it's just the quality of the mouse, but I could feel a slight delay, which isn't really the best, especially when you're playing competitive shooters where you need to have fast reactions. Secondly, as what I said, from the bottom of the mouse, there's the mouse skate, which is like, it feels kind of rough and not smooth. Like if I'm trying to navigate around my mouse pad, it doesn't really feel that good. So you can see that the movements isn't really that good. As for this Valorant gameplay, I don't have any mouse cam because I noticed that the footage has been corrupted for some reason, so I'm just going to proceed with it without the mouse cam.
morninglightmusic.io. 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 morninglightmusic.io.
As for Genshin Impact, I would say it's actually a pretty decent mouse because it doesn't really require really fast locations and response rate when you're trying to navigate around, but I actually feel quite comfortable with this mouse, especially playing on Genshin Impact. There is still some issues around navigating around the mouse pad. As you can see, it feels a bit rough, but overall it's a decent mouse for the Genshin Impact. As you can see, where I'm slaying monsters, it's actually easy to like move around with my mouse. And as you can see from the mouse cam, the video isn't really synced that well, but it clearly shows that the mouse is actually pretty comfortable in shape, especially when you're playing with Genshin Impact. I would say it's a pretty decent mouse for Genshin Impact, but for competitive shooters like Valorant, Overwatch, CSGO, I wouldn't really recommend it.
Incinerate!
MorningLightMusic.io.
Motion to compel. Time for your arraignment. To ashes. Leave it all to me, as a dutiful maid would.
As for the overall conclusion, the Gaming Freak FX-6 is actually a pretty decent mouse, a pretty budget mouse which is catered to budget gamers. I think it's around 50 ringgit according to my price tag here. I think you can actually get it cheaper online with vouchers or anything because this was a gift given to me. Overall, it's a solid mouse, but I wouldn't really recommend it for any FPS shooter as there's some kind of delay and it isn't really that smooth at the bottom of the mouse. You might need to move a lot and it doesn't really feel that comfortable as well. I would highly recommend getting a much better mouse, probably a Logitech G102 for starters, or maybe a Viper Mini for starters if you want to get into the gaming mouse world. But if you have this mouse, it's actually still a pretty decent mouse to get by. But overall, I wouldn't really recommend this if you are trying to use it for competitive shooters. But for casual gaming, I would say it's a pretty solid mouse. For a mouse with this price that offers a lot of customization, I would say it's a pretty okay mouse. So any of you gamers thinking to get like a super duper entry level gaming mouse, you might actually consider this mouse. It's pretty solid in my opinion.